In my last video, I showcased the new Apple TV tvOS feature called Continuous Audio Connection coming in tvOS 16.4. It's available only in the developer betas right now, but I would expect fairly shortly it will be deployed out to the regular public betas and then onward toward the final release. In that last video, though, I showcased this feature in my living room setup, which was really just a two-channel setup, and used the kind of audio information on my TCL 98-inch QM9K to show that feature engaging and disengaging. That video has garnered a lot of attention and a lot of comments, and there were a couple things about this feature that were mentioned in the comments that I didn't have in my last video. So for this video, I've come down to my multi-channel, immersive audio-capable dedicated home theater room to take a look at this feature a little more in depth and evaluate some of its nuances and talk a little bit more about whether you may want to turn this on or off and what are the ramifications and the pros and cons and such of doing so. So I've already done a bunch of investigation. I've done various types of engagement, looking at content with this feature on and off. Unfortunately, I can't give a full-blown live demo because it would involve playing video content and showing the screen. It would involve playing audio content that you would be able to hear. So I'm going to actually be muting things and trying to blur out video images behind me and kind of explain as we go some of the nuances about what this feature is doing. All right, I do want to show again how to get this, where it is, how to find it. So I am in my Apple TV here. This is the latest version of the Apple TV 4K. Do note, based again on some of the comments from the last video, it seems like this feature is not available in all generations of the Apple TV. I had a number of folks reporting with first gens or early gen hardware revisions that were in the developer betas that they weren't seeing this option available to them. I am using, again, the latest version of the hardware. So I'm going to go down here to System. I'm going to go down to Software Updates, and to show here, I am running tvOS 2623L 5234A. Last checked March 14th. I don't know the specific date when this one was actually updated, but this feature has been out, I think, for at least a number of days, if not, I think, a couple of weeks so far. I am enrolled in the developer beta, and one of the other questions in the comments, how do you get into the developer beta? Well, you have to have an Apple developer account. You have to kind of register your system, register your hardware and whatnot with your Apple developer account as well. There's more that you can do on the Apple TV with the developer account, of course. You can access the hidden HUD to be able to look at the technical information about your content when it's streaming and playing back. But you can enroll very easily in the public betas right off of your Apple TV developer beta. May take a little bit more work, and again, may take a developer account. I don't really recommend the developer betas for kind of everyday use. I do developer betas on a lot of my hardware, but of course I'm doing that because I want advanced access to features. I want to test them. I want to be able to comment on them, make content, and that sort of thing. If I wasn't doing that kind of stuff, probably wouldn't be in developer beta rings on this and other hardware. So I'm going to go back out here, and I'm going to go up to Video and Audio. I'm going to go down to the audio options that are here, and we're going to go into the audio format screen. And if you have this feature, we should have Dolby Atmos enabled, and then underneath that we have our continuous audio connection feature, which we're able to turn on and off. One thing to note is that this feature really requires Dolby Atmos to be enabled. This was another element of the comments from the last video. People were commenting, I have everything that I should have to see this and I don't see it. Well, the question is, are you connected to a Dolby Atmos capable audio system? Because notice, if I turn Dolby Atmos off, my continuous audio connection feature just goes completely not available. So this feature is defunct and not applicable when you're not using an existing Dolby capable audio system. So I'm going to turn my Dolby Atmos back on. My continuous audio feature becomes re-enabled. Now, the way that I was testing this was basically just in the TV app itself directly. And I was just using a movie. I bought Despicable Me 4, not specifically for this, but it was in my Apple iTunes library. So I'm using the Apple TV app. I've gone to the movie poster for Despicable Me 4, and I am at its play selection menu option. Now, this is playing audio. I have it muted, of course, because I don't want any copyright takedowns and stuff like that happening behind the scenes or after this video publishes. But suffice to say, there is audio playing. It's just music. A lot of the movies in the Apple iTunes, Apple TV app library when you access this playback menu, usually have audio that goes with it. That audio is 2-channel. So this is kind of a great way to test this out. And you could probably do this with just about any movie in your library or in the system, jumping back and forth between looking at the menu screen of the movie while it's playing its audio and actually playing the movie itself. If it's a Dolby Atmos capable movie, then go and play the movie. You should be in Dolby Atmos mode. Come back to its menu really quickly, right, by backing out or stopping playback, and you'll come right back to the 2-channel audio, essentially music that would be playing in the background. First thing to note with this continuous audio connection feature, is that what it's doing is basically taking the audio, whatever existing audio format you're playing, in this case, again, it would be just a 2-channel PCM style signal. And with continuous audio on, it's wrapping it in a Dolby Matte container, which then outputs via HDMI to your receiver, your preamplifier, whatever's next, essentially, what the Apple TV is connected to in its audio, in your audio chain. With the feature on, it means that your audio to that audio processor always looks like Dolby Atmos. And so one of the biggest negatives, I guess, of using this feature, let's say a trade-off. Everything was usually more trade-offs than a pro and con, but a side effect, a trade-off of using this feature is that your preamplifier, your receiver will not be able to upmix the audio. It won't be able to apply Dolby surround processing or add immersive kind of layering to the audio signal because it's already essentially locked into a Dolby Atmos style mode. And that's true whether your receiver or your preamplifier actually indicates that it's receiving Dolby Atmos from the Apple TV or not. My Anthem AVM90 actually doesn't indicate that it's getting Dolby Atmos all the time, but the effects of having continuous audio connection on and sending that to the rest of my system are still very much noticeable. Case in point, this 2-channel audio, if I have continuous audio turned on and I'm listening to the music playing in this menu, I can very clearly only hear the sound coming out of my left and right speakers. If I turn continuous audio off and I come back to this menu, to this movie's menu here, and I walk around my room, my Dolby Surround upmixer in my Anthem AVM90 is being applied to that audio signal, and sound is in fact coming out of all the speakers. On the other hand, in my testing, what I can say is that when I quickly jump back and forth between playing the movie, so jumping into the movie, playback starts, takes just a second for the stream to pick up, right, and then I jump back to the menu as well. With continuous audio connection on, there is no delay whatsoever in terms of the audio being heard in the transitions between the menu and the movie itself. With continuous audio connection off, there's actually an audio format change taking place because we're switching from 2-channel PCM to true Dolby Atmos, basically being sent to the receiver or to the preamplifier in my case because I have the audio separates. But I experience about a 3 to 4 second audio delay. That's the sync time for the AVM90 to lock on to the new audio signal coming from the Apple TV in each of those mode changes. So again, the trade-offs involved. Do you want to have instant audio with no delay, no resynchronization and such involved? Or do you want to have the ability to upmix lower or less than Dolby Atmos, less than immersive audio formats? And I think that's a really important distinction, whether this feature is actually right for you or not. I had a number of people in the comments of the last video singing the praises of this feature because maybe they listen to a lot of music. And fundamentally, with continuous audio turned on, you're getting like true gapless playback between tracks, between songs, depending on what's in your playlist, the formats essentially of that audio. You may have resynchronization, you may have a new locking on of different audio formats with continuous audio turned off for music, whereas with it turned on, you're going to go from track to track to track to track, and you're never going to have a pause, you're never going to have a break, you're never going to have silence in between disparate tracks and whatnot of the music. Same thing for YouTube. Maybe you're watching a bunch of shorts in a row, different audio formats, different lock-ons, the audio comes in, the audio goes away, etc. This is a very nice feature for folks that really value the stability of that connection and no gap, no stop, no silence between different pieces of content that they may be stringing together. However, if you're sitting down for a 2-hour movie and that movie happens to only be in old school 5.1 regular Dolby Digital or even something less than that, well, maybe in that case, you just turn the feature off for that movie so that you can take advantage of all your speakers, your full Dolby Atmos, your full immersive audio system, let your receiver, your preamplifier be able to upmix it, and then turn the feature back on when you're done with that movie. Or hey, maybe in your regular watching, you're usually only watching newer stuff or upgraded stuff. You're watching Dolby Atmos content naturally for the higher quality TV shows and movies that you care about off your Apple TV. And so it doesn't bother you that some things that you watch may not be able to be upmixed because, again, most of what you're watching is native and you value the stability of the connection and that no silence, that gaplessness, and so on more than the alternative. It is something to remember if you do opt to be to follow the use case basically where you're going to leverage the feature most of the time, but then you're going to turn it off at certain times. Well, it's not much effort, but you do have to remember to go into the settings, navigate down to the right option, turn it off. After you're done with that movie, you have to remember to kind of turn it back on. I mentioned as well in the first video, I was testing this in my living room system, and it was very clear as I turned continuous audio on and off, I could see the info overlay of the TCL television popping up with Dolby Audio when continuous audio was turned on, and then that tag would kind of disappear when continuous audio was turned off. I came down here to the theater to experiment and set up for this video, kind of expecting to see the same thing. I was going to really just film and present hopefully the same thing coming off of my Anthem AVM90, but I do want to call out again here, in fact, the AVM90 behaved very differently than the TCL TV. And when I engage continuous audio versus when I don't, the AVM90 doesn't directly indicate that it's getting Dolby Atmos all the time, even though in fact it is getting that Dolby Audio in that Dolby Matte style container. So I'll overlay a couple images here essentially of what the AVM90 was showing. First, this is the audio picture, the audio signal when we're actually in the movie. And you can very clearly see here that it says Dolby Atmos, Dolby Audio. That's the core, the original audio that's being sent while we're watching the movie. That's what the AVM90 is identifying, and that's what the AVM90 is decoding and playing back within the room and within the audio system. Now, if we go back to this menu, though, which again is 2-channel PCM, with continuous audio turned on, it basically tells us that, hey, we're getting PCM. It still implies it's kind of a lossy format. It doesn't specifically tell us like that it's 2-channel or something like that. But again, it's playing back the 2-channel audio in the Dolby Matte container, and the AVM90 is now no longer able to. It's no longer applying any type of upmixing, Dolby Surround upmixing to that signal. And as I mentioned, the sound is only coming out of the left and right speakers. And so you can kind of get an idea here of what it looks like or what the AVM90 is indicating with that feature turned on. Now, if we turn continuous audio off, and we sit here at the menu when this 2-channel signal is coming in, you actually see very clearly that it's indicating a 2-channel PCM signal. So there is a difference in what it's reporting. So if you're using this feature, be aware different devices may indicate things differently. And in fact, in the description of the feature in the Apple TV settings, it says older receivers, interestingly, older receivers might indicate Dolby Atmos even though original audio would be being received. Well, interestingly, my brand new television, last year, 2025 model year television, actually was indicating Dolby Atmos, and this AVM90, which is just a few years old, actually does not indicate that a constant Dolby Atmos connection, even though that is actually what's happening, and that's what in fact is being processed. So I think this is a real interesting feature, and I think whether you use it or not, again, depends upon what trade-offs are you prepared to make. There were a number of folks in the comments of the last video, and I'm sure there will be in the comments of this video, basically saying that they hate this feature. They wouldn't want this. They want to use the upmixers, right? They value stuff like that, more importantly. And there's plenty of people as well that had audio problems, long delays, lack of ability to sync properly. Or even worst case, if you're getting like popping noises, crackling noises, disturbing noises that are coming during audio format changes and stuff like that, and you can use this feature to basically stop the occurrence of all of those, that's probably a really, really big benefit and perhaps a really important reason to use this. The music lovers might like it more than the home theater folks, so it's interesting how all of that may work out. But sound off in the comments, please. Post a comment. If you have access to this feature already, or when you get it, what are you going to do with it? Why would you use it for you? What purpose would it serve? Or why would you choose to not use it? What elements of it don't you actually like, such that you would turn this thing off and not even really consider it? Again, for me, because I have basically a 2-channel living room and I'm not using any type of upmixers or anything in there anyway, I am certainly turning this on in my living room setup. Down here in the theater room, I'd have to debate actually, because more often than not, if I was using my Apple TV to play something with less than Dolby Audio, Dolby Atmos audio, I probably would prefer to use the up mixer. And I don't think down here, when if I'm coming down here, I'm coming down here to watch a television show or maybe a few of them in a row. I'm coming down here to watch a movie. I'm not watching small snippets of content or consuming small elements of content one right after the other. If I'm going to do something like that, I'm probably doing that upstairs in my living room. It's probably where I'm listening to music. That's probably where I'm watching YouTube and other types of content like that. So continuous audio would be a very great benefit up there. But for a longer form piece of content down here, I probably don't actually want it. And I would prefer to use all my speakers, use the power of these Dolby capabilities, and actually have the system fully do an upmixed Dolby surround processing of the signal coming in. So I think I'm going to be continuous on in the living room, continuous off in the theater. But again, I want to hear what you think and what you're going to do with this if you have it, or perhaps when you actually get it. So there you go. Some more technicals, some more investigation, some more experimentation with this cool new feature. Whether you like it or not, I think it's a good thing that Apple is investing in useful audio video direct type of enthusiast features in the Apple TV. We all benefit from that, I think, in the long run. So Apple, please keep it up, stay focused, and bring us all kinds of awesome stuff for the audio files, the video files to the Apple TV platform. As we wrap up, I'd like to remind you that Techthusiasm here, is a dealer, integrator, consultant for all kinds of home theater stuff, video players like Kaleidoscape, projectors, displays, speakers, receivers, preamps, amplifiers, subwoofers, screens. If you name it, I can get it. I would love to help you out with your next home theater upgrades, your plans, and help you source some awesome equipment. Please reach out to me, Jeremy, at techthusiasm.net, or go to www.techthusiasm.com. If you'd like to help me more simply, there's affiliate links in the description of all my videos, as well as on the webpage. Stores like Amazon, Walmart, Target, and more. Please use those in your everyday shopping. Thank you to the channel members. I welcome others to become channel members as well. Get some access, cool perks on the channel, and access to early content. And again, please do that regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, leave a comment, please, and do the hype. I much appreciate all of the YouTube hype that I can get here for the content. Thanks so much for watching. Coming back for more home theater discussion and fun.